I grew up in Stockton, and people ask me a lot, why did I go to Pacific? And I wanted to go someplace I played basketball and baseball. And I wanted to go to a Division I school where I could play both sports. But I had some other choices. One school just play baseball, some schools just play basketball, but I wanted to go someplace I could play both sports. For me, growing up, being from Stockton, my dad used to take me to the ball games when I was, starting about 4th grade. So we'd go to all the games, and I became a big Tiger fan. And truthfully, I felt it was my obligation to go to Pacific. I felt growing up here, being part of this community, I had a lot of pride. I just couldn't see myself anywhere else. Myself, I was on campus a lot. We were playing the Civic Auditorium. That didn't make any difference to me. I had pride in Pacific. I love the student athlete. I love the small school environment. I joke and I say I majored in fraternity. I played both sports. I was in a fraternity, but I got a great education. I was a name and not a number. I learned so much just about life, about time management, and many of those skills that I learned besides just my education, I applied to the business world that helped me get up the ladder really fast. And that's why, for me, it's easy to raise money. It's easy to ask people for money and do whatever I can to make Pacific better. And I really think the money, the leadership of Ted, and the great administrative people we have in the sports and through the academic world of Pacific, when people donate money to UOP, it really does make a difference, and it doesn't get lost, and you treat it as a name and not a number. And that's why I'm excited about this year's fund drive and our Impact Fund. We're excited about the fund drive this year. We sure appreciate the university athletic program dedicated to my dad, Max Paulsen. It's interesting, when we started the fund drive, my dad was the very first president. And I can remember Lou Cryer, who was the chairman of the fund drive, came by the house and wanted to know, who's Ralph McClure, who's this guy? I was 8 or 10 years old. And so, the orange and black has always been our blood. My dad had a great run and as president, and then we were always the top fundraisers. I kind of took over when he retired, and we worked together. And even a few years back, when a couple of times we didn't have a PAF director, my dad just filled in, and he loved it. And we still today look forward to the fund drive to give back. But I will tell you, it means an awful lot to our family to dedicate to my dad. And another reason why we're going to have a great fund drive. And I'm not afraid to call on anybody and ask, if they're afraid. If they want to say the word no, that's fine. But we have so much pride and tradition in the university and what Pacific's meant to our family and to our community. We're excited about this year's fund drive, and I really appreciate it being dedicated to my dad, Max Paulsen.